friends, welcome to Coding Host YouTube channel. In this video, I will explain a program from GX4GX row with max ones. So you can see that in the question we will get a boolean 2D array and in 2m dimension where row is sorted. So we have to find that in which row we have maximum number of 1. So you can see that in this example 1, here we have this 4 by 4 matrix. You can see here in the second row we have this max number of ones. So this is our answer. So first I will explain you the logic of this program. So in this video we will see the brute force approach for this question. So if we sum all the ones of every row, so here we have 3, and from the second row we will have 2, and from the third row we have 4, and from the last row we have 0. So you can see that from all of these numbers which is max 4, so it's mean that in this row we have max number of ones and we have to return this row number. So now let's write the program. So I will take a variable here int row equal to -1. Initially we have to make this row number as -1. We cannot make it as 0 because here 0 means first row. Then we have to make two more variables int max1 equal to 0 and max2 equal to 0. Then we have to take two nested for loops which we use for traverse in the 2D array. So for int I equal to 0 and I less than n and I plus plus. So here n is the number of rows and m is the number of columns. So in the first for loop we have to use n, then inside this for loop. So actually we have to define this max2 variable inside this first for loop. So int max2 equal to 0. Then we have to write the next for loop for int j equal to 0 and j is less than m and j plus plus. So here I will add elements in this max2 variable. So max2 plus equal to array of n m. So we know that in the array we only have 0 and 1. So if we get 1, value of max2 will increment, or if we get 0 it will remain same. So this logic will work fine. And after this for loop we have to take if statement. If max2 is larger than max1, what I will do is in the row we will store I, because I for loop is for row. This is our logic, and in the last we will return our row number. So return row. So now let's run this program. So we are getting a error here. I have written here int. So we have done a mistake here. We do not have to write here n or m. We have to write here I and j. And also we have to change the value of max2. So max2 equal to max1. So now let's run this program. So now you can see that this program is working fine. But before we submit this program, let's see the dry run of this program. So you can see that in the question we have an array of 4 by 4. So then I have taken two variables row and max1. So row is -1 and max1 is 0. Then we have taken these two nested for loops. So this first for loop is starting from I, which is 0, and after that before this for loop I have taken this max2 variable equal to 0. Why? So I will explain you later why I have taken this max2 variable before this inside for loop. So this max2 variable is also 0. Now this inside for loop j will start from 0. So you can see that we are at index 0 and 0. So we will add the element of this index 0 and 0 in the max2 variable. So you can see that at this index we have 0. So nothing going to happen. Max2 will remain as it is. Then j will increment, so it will become 1. So at index 0 and 1 we have 1. So we will add 1 in the max2. So now max2 will become 1. After that j will increment, so it will become 2. So at index 0 and 2 we again have 1. So we will add this element in the max2. So max2 will become 2. Then j will increment, so it will become 3. So at this index 0 and 3 we also have element 1. So we will add this in the max2 variable. So now max2 will become 3. So now you can see that after that when the j will increment, so this inside for loop will break. Then we have this if statement. If max2 is larger than max1, you can see yes, max1 is 0 and max2 is 3. So then we will insert this value in the max1. So now max1 has 3, and in the row we will store 0. So it's mean that in the first row for now we have maximum number of ones. Now you can see that I will increment from 1. So you can see that after that again this variable will initialize, so it will automatically start from 0. So we can easily add the next row elements in this max2 variable. So now j will again start from 0. So now it will add this element from index 1 and 0. So it is 0, max2 will remain as it is, then j will increment, so it will become 1. At index 1 and 1 we have 0, so it will remain as it is, then j will become 2. So at index 1 and 2 we have 1, so now max2 will become 1. After that j will increment, so it will become 3. Now you can see that at index 1 and 3 we also have 1, so it will get added in the max2 variable, so it will become 2. So now you can see here, after that when j will increment, so it will become 4. So that time this inside for loop will break. Now it will check this if statement if max2 is larger than max1. You can see no, max2 is 2 and max1 is 3. So this if statement is not going to execute. Then I will increment, so it will become 2. After that max2 will again initialize from 0 and j will also start from 0. So now it will check the element from index 2 and 0. At index 2 and 0 we have 1, so we will add this element in the max2 variable, so it will become 1. Then j will increment, so at index 2 and 1, at this index we also have 1, so now max2 will become 2. Then j will increment, it will become 2. At index 2 and 2 we also have 1, so then max2 will become 3. Then j will increment, so j will become 3. So at this index 2 and 3 element is also 1, so max2 will increment and it will become 4. So after that j will increment and this for loop will again break. Now it will check if max2 is larger than max1. You can see max2 is 4 and max1 is 3. So yes, so in this row number of ones is larger than the previous row. So now we will insert this max2 value in the max1 variable. So here we will have 4 and the number of row will also change. So now I is 2, so now in the row variable we will have 2. After that I will become 3, then max2 will again start from 0. Now you can see here j will start from 0. You can see here in this last row we only have element 0, so this max2 will remain 0 until the traversal of this whole row. So that's why after the ending of this for loop, this if statement is not going to execute, then when this I will become 4, this for loop will also break. So in the last we will return the row variable which is 2. So this is how this program is working. So now we will submit this program. So you can see that if we try to submit this program, what will happen? So you can see that we are getting error. The mistake here is that if max2 is larger than max1, so we have to store the value of max2 in the max1, but instead of that we are writing max2 equal to max1. So this is the mistake in the program. So we have to write it like this, max1 equal to max2. But I have explained you the dry run of this program properly. So this is our max1 variable here and this is our max2. So the dry run of this program is right. So now let's submit this program. Now you can see that our program has submitted successfully. So what is the time complexity for this program? You can see that we are using two nested for loops, first for row and second for column. So because of that, so the time complexity of this program will be big O of m into n. And what is the space complexity for this program? The space complexity will be big O of 1, because here we are only using these variables and we are not using any copy of this 2D array. So this is how this program is working. Thanks for watching.